We welcome you back to California to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca with Elliott Forbes Robinson. I'm Rick Benjamin, watching a battle for position a little further back. Robert McCallion in the all-red paint scheme this weekend. That's the 19 car, still trying to get around Robert Huffmaster's. They fight for fifth. Eric Curran right there as well as the Patron Tequila car.
Yeah, Huffmaster's doing a good job. He got by those guys, and see if he can hold them off now that he's got by all these folks.
Now, we've kind of kidded about Huffmaster and his prowess on a wet racetrack, Elliott. He won that full rain race at Mosport in Canada early in the year, second race of the season, then won again at New Jersey, a race that had a lot of dampness on the course, although it wasn't a driving rainstorm. Here on a dry track, he's running well. He's just not quite as quick as the leaders.
Yeah, and you know, he was caught in traffic there for a while, and he may still be running the same time as the leaders if he was up front in the clean air. We'll see what he can do now if he can hold these guys off. But he has been so good on a slick track, and by the looks of this one, it may be getting to be a slick track because there's dirt all over it.
And as you look at a guy like Eric Curran, who's third in this group here, a veteran of the SCCA World Challenge GT category, he's won several races there in a high-powered Corvette. Back up to the leaders, still Christian Frank leading Rampelberg in the blue and white car, Foss in the green and white car. These cars, you can't drive out of a mistake with power. They just don't make that much horsepower. You've got to be very precise, I would imagine, in one of these.
Oh, absolutely. You know, these are great cars. And I mean, that little drop off the road, if this was a straightaway, he would lose a position there. Because you have to have the good drive from center of the corner off to get the speed down the straightaway so someone won't make that pass on you. And in the big car, if you make a little bit of a mistake, you can still get on the throttle and still pull the same speed up the straightaway.
Christian Frank is your leader. That's the yellow 16 car, the Team Olara entry out in front. Second is Rampelberg, the blue and white 14. He's won some races this year in the series. Third belongs to Eric Foss, the championship leader. A couple of wins for him as well. Running order on lap 15 at the top of your screen. Burris back and forth. He's all by himself now. Huffmaster leading McCallion in that fight for fifth that we've been watching also. But the leaders staging a great duel here as they head back to the corkscrew.
It looks like Christian has some really good pace, and the guys aren't mixing it up as much, and I think it's partly because the pace is picked up now, and they're all just kind of hanging on behind him because they're going very well.
Well, we should be past halfway in this timed event. Some fuel's burned off now. The cars are a little lighter. Does that make much difference in these cars?
Well, you know, it makes difference because the cars are still the weight in the car makes a big difference to the car, and it will change the handling a little bit because you don't have that weight sitting back in the back. But the tires at the same time have gone off a little bit, so you lose a little bit, gain a little bit. But, you know, these guys are having a good race. It looked like Eric was actually dropping off the back a little bit, but then again, he's picked it back up again.
And if you're Eric Foss, there is so much at stake here today. If you win the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup Championship, you earn a funded ride in SCCA World Challenge Touring competition with one of the Mazda factory teams. So Foss has that in the back of his mind. I'm sure that the next step up the racing ladder is his for the taking here today.
Yeah, and the World Challenge has some really good racing, and you go there with that MX-6, and you've seen the guys come from this series and go there and do very well, and I think Eric will do a good job in that series.
Frank continues to lead. Rampelberg is second. Foss is third, with that championship within his grasp now as the laps start to wind down here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Rampelberg, meantime, starting to put some pressure back on Christian Frank.
Christian's had a lot of pressure on him between Eric Foss and now this, and I think that he's doing a really good job. He's staying on the road more now than he was before and just keeping it really good and doing a good pace, and we'll see if he can hang on to it. They may still be able to get by him, but he's holding up well under the pressure for a young guy. Under
the Mazda bridge, heading back to the famous corkscrew here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. And if you're Christian Frank, you're a teenager, you're trying to learn how to do this professionally. This, of course, a professional series. Is your tendency to look in the mirror, see where that guy is, or do you just need to drive your own line?
Well, you need to do a little bit of both, but mainly drive your own line and try not to do anything. But with these cars, you still got to be a little protective if you want to run this race. But, you know, I always feel, oops, he made a big mistake right there.
Christian Frank off at turn 11, lets the other two by. He drops back to third.
Yeah, that's, you know, I don't know what happened there, but look, it got a little sideways under braking, and then when he turned in from the corner, the back stepped out. And I don't know if he was tapped. I couldn't see from the angle we had, but it was a good job to catch it. No, he just lost it on his own. A little bit too fast under brakes, locked him up, and the back stepped out on him.
He was able to gather it in without going way off and losing even more time, but he gave up 15 car lengths probably to Rampelberg, who's your new leader in the 14. Foss is second, and Foss lays a wheel off, trying to get some speed and drive back to the lead to get around Rampelberg.
Yeah, but we've seen that dropping that wheel off there is really good. You carry a lot of speed through the corner, but you lose it at the exit because you can't get the drive with the wheel in the dirt. So it wasn't able to give him the shot he wanted, but he hasn't given up yet. Foss is still trying to get up there to win this race.
He knows he has some time to work with here. He's only a couple of car lengths behind Rampelberg, and if I were Foss, I'd be thinking of the big picture here. I'd be thinking not taking huge chances to try to win this race.
Yeah, but these cars have been really strong, and I think that you can get away with. Oh my gosh, he almost made a big one there. He did make a big one there.
Eric Foss lays a wheel off in the corkscrew, does a complete 360, maybe a couple of them, gives up several spots. Brad Rampelberg gets by, Christian Frank gets by, Todd Burris passes. Here's another look.
Oh yeah, he just got in a little bit too hot. It looks like the tires must be going off because the cars are stepping out. The same thing we saw with Christian. But he minimized the damage there and got around. It says it looks like a good job of driving, but I think he was just a passenger.
Man, Eric Foss with the championship in his grasp. That is the last thing he needs to do here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Foss settles back in fourth. Todd Burris third. Frank is second. Brad Rampelberg takes advantage of all this. He's got about a 12-car length advantage now.
I'm not sure any guys want to win this race. They seem to get up in the lead and kind of throw it away.
We will see when we continue here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.